Hello and welcome to the show.
And welcome to Plundering the Marshal's Baggage, a short pint-sized campaign for sharp practice. It's based on events taking place around the Battle of Mohrungen between 24th and 25th of January 1807, where Russian raiders ransacked Marshal Bernadotte's baggage. There will be just 3 scenarios: Surprise, Surprise, Liebstadt, 24th of January, Grab the Treasure, Mohrungen, 25th of Jan, and A Plunder Too Far, north of Mohrungen, 25th of Jan. The historical forces involved for the Russians were the 25th Jaeger Regiment and the 4th Cavalry Division, which included Dragoons and I've included Cossacks. And for the French, the 8e Régiment Infanterie Légère and the 10e Régiment de Hussards. Excusez-moi, ma franglais. There are a few campaign rules, but I won't go into this in any detail. Casualties can be recovered from non-routed units between scenarios, and you get more for the scenario winner. The French will suffer attrition after scenario 1, and I'll roll for the effect for each group. And the weather was particularly bad at this time of year, so I'm going to roll for the effects of movement and visibility on a 1d6 for each scenario. Victory points for each scenario are listed here: 3 for the first one, 4 for the second one, and 2 for the final one. As per my previous games with the Russians, I'll have some additional rules for the Cossacks. Firstly, they can never charge a non-shocked group or formation. However, if they do, they'll get 1d6 extra for each 2 points of shock the enemy has. They can evade if charged by the enemy, but if caught, then they're going to be in trouble. And they are plunderers. Therefore, after any victorious fisticuffs, they'll take a looting test. So, on to the first scenario. Surprise, surprise. Liebstadt, 24th of January, 1807. This scenario is based on the Russian advance guard catching French troops in Liebstadt, unprepared and outnumbered. The latter were routed with the loss of 300 captured. This is an attack on an objective. The Russians must seize the village and drive the French away. The forces for the opening scenario are relatively small. The French will have 3 groups of 8 voltigeurs and 2 groups of 6 voltigeur skirmishers, whereas the Russians will have 4 groups of 8 Jaegers, 2 groups of 6 Jaeger skirmishers, and 1 group of 8 Don Cossacks. Leader-wise, the Russians will have a Status 2 Ivan Debiakok and Status 1 Sergeant Boris Butich in charge of the Jaeger line, Igor Betov and Guntich in charge of the Jaeger skirmishers, and Vasily Bugarov with the Cossacks. The French have Capitaine Clément Cointreau and Sergeant Thomas Lecoquelet with the Voltigeur line, and Patrick Pernot with the Voltigeur skirmishers. The village of Liebstadt is in the centre of the table, with the road running north-south. All the buildings, fences, hedges will only provide light cover. The lake to the bottom right of the table is impassable to all troop types. The French will have 2 deployment points, firstly in the village here, and secondly to the south on the road here. The Russians will be entering the table at the top from the road, with a secondary deployment point up to 12 inches away from that one. The Russian objective is quite simple. It is to capture the village of Liebstadt. The French have a force morale of 11 and the Russians 10, and I've rolled for the weather, and it is heavy snow, which means visibility is a maximum of 18 inches. It's -1 to hit on ranges over 12 inches. Infantry cannot run except by road, but cavalry can gallop normally. This is the village of Liebstadt, looking from the south. Bottom edge of the table on the road here is one of the French forces deployment points, and their other deployment point is going to be in the barn back right of the village here, looking up the road to the Russian deployment point on the road there. And they have a second one which is 12 inches away from there, either right or left as we look. And the Russian view from their deployment point down the road towards the village, not quite decided where to put this secondary deployment point, left or right from the main road. And there's the big lake back left, which is impassable. First turn, and it is Russian leader 1. Ivan Debiakok, he's on, he's coming straight down that road. And the Russians sneak into the village without the French reacting. French leader 3, well, that is Patrick Pernot, and he's with the Voltigeurs. Right, so this is the deployment point here. They can go 12 inches, which I can put them up behind this fence. French voltigeurs just about see the marching column coming down the road. They're going to keep the powder dry for the moment. Ooh, and tiffin. End of turn. Alright, red flag. Ooh, leader 1. They're going to continue that march. So I think with the Russian line, I want to get them up to the edge of the village here, get them lined out and start to fire. So 3 dice because they're on the road. That's more than enough, 12. There they are, right at the edge of the village. And the voltigeurs look a bit worried. Blue flag. What, leader 3? That is the voltigeurs. I'll tell you what, he's going to pick that card up. Right, so Pernod will be level 3. He'll tell that lot to fire. And he will tell that lot to fire and get involved with directing fire. It's first fire for both. They are under 12 inches. I'll do this group first. It's going to be 3s to hit. First fire and under 12 inches. So that is 6 hits. Which is going to be 2, 2 and 2. Now they'll get light cover. They're behind that fence. That is nothing. These guys, I guess, are going to get heavy cover because they're behind that lot and that cover and they're over 12. So that's nothing. And the third group is 1 kill back here. And they will reload. This group will now fire, directing by Pernod, 8 dice, hitting on 3s. Two, 2, 1. No cover here in the open. That's 1 shot, 1 kill. Light cover, 2 shock, and light cover, nothing. Is the kill on to be a cock? Oh, it is. What's happened to him? He's knocked out. Oh, disaster. Bad things happen. 4. -1, and the Russians are on 9 force morale already. Right, red leader 5 is Vasily Buggerov with the Cossacks. So they're going to deploy this side of the road, 12 inches, and come up here. They can deploy 18, so that puts them nicely there. And tiffin. Red flag there is of no use. End of turn. French leader 1. Clement Cointreau. Well, they'll come on the main deployment point on the road, I think. To protect their route of escape if they get overrun. Red flag. Red flag. Ooh, tiffin. Would you believe it? So the Cossacks can go, and the line, can they go? I think they might be able to. Well, the Cossacks are going to come over here at the edge of the lake and just keep there for the moment because they can't do anything dramatic. So they'll just have a little walk over there. 7. Right, so I'm thinking that this formation can still move, even though to be a cock is down. So they will move here. It's automatic. They will have to roll. They'll go 3. And they will have to roll as well. They'll go 8. Leader 5, that's the Cossacks. With bugger off, they will stay where they are. And tiffin. Oh, God blimey, right, end of turn. No massive action there. Right, blue flag. Blue flag. Blue flag. The last movement was the Russian line here, so let's see what happens. 7. Well, that is tell the men to sing. If the troops are in any column formation, they may take 2 dice 6 of movement immediately. Well, that might get them into position. Right, so this group, yes. And this group, yes. That is very handy for the Russians, but to be a cock still down. But the French have got 3 flags, so I managed to use them and activate Pernod with the voltigeurs. Purno will simply tell that group to fire and that group to fire, and they'll reload, so it's 6 dice and 6 dice. Firstly, this group firing here, hitting on 4, 5, 6. That's just 2 hits, and I've 1 there and 1 there. In the open, 5 is 1 shock, and 6 is a kill. Is the kill on the sergeant? No, it's not. I need to put a wound down for to be a cock here. Right, this group here firing at these again. 4s to hit, that's 3 hits. Maybe 2 there and 1 there, or perhaps it should be split that way. Right, here in the open, no effect. Here in the open, 1 shock, and here they will get light cover. What's a kill? French leader 1. So we're going the French way at the moment. Cointrot's on the move, 3 dice. He goes 7. Attack. Red leader 3, which is Eagle beat off with the Jaeger skirmishers, finally. So they can come 12 inches. Beat off will come on with his group here, and Guntich will come on when he's activated, probably the other side. French leader 3. Well, he's already been. Red leader 1. Right, he's got to try and get up. So to be a cock needs 5 or 6. He gets a 6. He's up. But that's the end of his turn. And he's now down to 1 command initiative, actually. Red flag. Bugger off. He will do nothing at the moment. Leader 2. That is Boris Butich, the sergeant with the line. Well, he's going to get them to present. So the whole of the line now is presented with Butich telling them to do that. Thing with the Russians, they can't do anything other than controlled fire. It'll be pretty murderous when it does happen, but it's quite slow. In fact, I've just realised he's got 2 cards there, which he's going to use. So he's now status 3. So he could present, and he can tell them to fire anyway. I forgot about that. So present, fire, they'll be unloaded. He will get involved, and he'll take a point of shock off. Right, it's 31 dice. Hitting on anything but is first fire and it's controlled. This could be very nasty for the Voltigeurs. That's the first lot. And that's the second lot. Look at that. Right, so that's a murderous 14 dice per group for the French, which is not good. However, they will be in hard cover because they're skirmishers. So looking for 5s and 6s. So that's 3 shock and just 1 kill. No leader with them. And the other group. That's a bit more nasty. Oh dear, look at that. Right, 3 shock. And 4 kills. Is one of those kills on Purno? No, it's not. Devastating though to those Voltigeurs. And they have excess shock. And they have to withdraw 2 inches. 2 inches per excess shock, and they're 1 excess shock. So back they go. So bad things happen. 1, no effect. And the line are now unloaded. Alright, red leader 4. That is Dima Guntich with the final group of Jaegers. So I think he will actually go the same way as the other group of Jaegers, because that's probably the quickest way to get into action. Blue flag, red flag, and tiff in. End of turn. Cointreau desperately trying to get up the road into Liebstadt to help out the Voltigeurs. They're getting a bit of a murderous volley at them at the moment. They need to extract. The Russian Cossacks on the French right are just holding there, waiting their turn, and the Jaegers need to get moving and get into action because they're not doing much at the moment. But Ivan Tabiakok is wounded, so they haven't got a lot of command and control, have the Russians. Right, blue flag. Blue flag. French leader 2, red leader 2 is Thomas Le Coquelet. He's with the column, can't do anything at the moment. Whereas leader 3, he definitely can, and he's going to pick that card up. Right, Pernod, he's now level 3. He is going to tell that lot to fire. He's going to move this lot back here and take a point of shock off. They're going to go all 3 dice, I think. So that's fine. They've extracted. 4 over. And they will open fire with 4 dice. Hitting on 4s. 2 hits. So it's going to be 1 on them and 1 on them. They're in the open. Oh, that's a kill. And the others will be light cover, which is 1 shock. Now, is the kill on to be a cock? No. Red flag. Tiffin. Right, 1 Russian unit to move. And it's going to be this group to move with beat off. I'm actually thinking, because of the heavy snow, they can't run. So I'll allow the Jaegers 2 dice, the skirmishers 2 dice. So they can go 8, but they can't go 3 dice. I think I may have forgotten that earlier. Wow, would you believe it? Pernod's up again. Now he's here. I think he's going to move across to them. Only allow him 2 dice. So that's fine. Away he goes, and he will tell them to fire again at the line. 4 dice, hitting on 4s. Number 2 hits. On that. In the open, 1 shock. And light cover, no effect. Red leader 2, Boris Butich. I think he can just take off some shock here, so they'll be down to 2 shock. Red flag, could have done with that. And that one. Red leader 4, Dima Guntich with the Jaegers. So old Sergeant Guntich is going to follow his boss there and go straight through those little trees. They go 7. And Tiffin. Right, 2 red flags. So these Jaegers will move. Again, 2 dice, they go 9. Motoring now. And I'm thinking actually they can fire at the Voltigeurs there. They're within 10. It's going to be hard cover because there's fencing. It's first fire hitting on 3s. 3 hits. Like I say, hard cover. 1 kill. Here's the kill on Pernod. No. Another Voltigeur goes. And the other group / formation to activate will be the line. They will reload and present. First card up is blue flag, red flag. Last group to do anything was the line. They didn't move or do anything, so I think it's the Jaegers. So they fired. See what happens. 7. A pall of smoke hangs across the battlefield there in front of the Jaegers. -1 to hit. Yeah, not good. Red flag. Red leader 4, Dima Guntich. Well, here he is. The other Jaegers, of course, have jumped right in front of him, so that's not good. What's he going to do? Well, I guess he can push on through. There goes 6. Right into the smoke. Idiots. French leader 1, Cointreau, get your arse in gear. Well, here he is. Yeah, what to do? I think basically he's just going to march straight up the road still. 3 dice. There goes 11. French column gets into the Liefstadt itself. The Voltigeurs need to clear away. Look at that line of Russian infantry ahead of them. Red flag. Blue flag. Well, I think I'm going to pick them up. And this is Pernod on the move. Right, so Pernod will activate. He'll get this lot to fire, and then they're going to move out of the way. So fire, reload, and move. Anyway, 4 dice hitting on 4s, that's 3 hits. 1, 2, 3. Soft cover is 1 shock. In the open, 1 shock. And in the open, 1 shock. And then they're going to move 1 dice over here. 6, excellent. Nicely out the way of the line and in cover. French leader 2, that is Thomas Le Coquelet. He can't do anything at the moment. Ooh, now, there we go, 4 flags. With 3 of the red flags, I'm going to get beat off to activate, move him over here and take on the Voltigeurs. So 2 dice, 9, that's probably perfect. There we go, nasty little enfilade fire there. He'll pick up another card and be status 3. So it's fire, reload, he will get involved. However, I'm not going to give them in the flank. 9 dice hitting on 4s. That is 5 hits. So we'll have 3 on the Voltigeurs and 2 on the line. Voltigeurs will be soft cover, which is 1 shock, 1 kill. Is that kill on Pernod? No. Ooh, there's going to be a pushback though, excess shock. And these guys here also be light cover because they're behind the Voltigeurs. And that's 2 shock on them. So they will go back 2 inches. I guess I'll have to shove them behind the hut there, out the way of these Jaegers. Right, as bad things happened for the Voltigeurs getting pushed back. 5 minus 1, the French are on 10. Red leader 5, bugger off. Right, Cossacks are on the move, round the back. There goes 6. Red leader 2, Boris Butich. Well, he'll take another point of shock off. The problem the Russians have got is the French are actually out of close range. So they're not going to be able to do much there. Ivan Tabiakok. Right, well, he's got 1 command initiative. They are outside of 12 inches, so that means that it's -1. So I don't think they can hit. So we'll just take some shock off. I think they'll just be holding there at the moment, in present, and you let the Jaegers and the Cossacks do the business. Blue flag. Red leader 3, Igor Beatov. Well, he's already activated, and Tiffin. So Pernod's group can go. Well, not Pernod's group, one of the Voltigeurs. Crikey, well, they can't do anything. They can't fire at anybody. They can't take any shock off. I might just withdraw them again. 2 dice. They can penetrate the line, so that's okay. They'll go 8, and I'm going to put them over here, out the way a bit. So there they are. End of turn. The Russian line have closed off the northern part of the village there. The French ain't going to get any joy from that side, and they're being flanked now by the Jaegers and the Cossacks as well. So they need to be careful. The Voltigeurs are in disarray, and the line, what are they going to do? Come on, Cointreau, get yourself squared away. Right, blue flag. Red leader 3, Igor Beatov. And here he is. He's in the flank. He will get them to fire and direct it. So it's going to be 8 dice. It's close range. So there we go. We're hitting on 4s. And it is going to be 4 hits. Yep, all on that front line group. In the open. 1 kill and 2 shock. 4 shock. Up to 6. Has Cointreau caught it up? Oh, he has. What's happened to him? He is knocked down. Cointreau hits the deck. Too many rouges. As bad things happen. 5. Oh dear, and that's a cheeky -2. French are on 8. Oh dear, red leader 4. That's Guntich. Right, here he is. He's going to get through that smoke. 2 dice up to here and take on the line. He goes 8. And that's about perfect. And they will fire and be unloaded. Virtually point blank range, so they're hitting on 4s. They miss every one. They are overexcited and they mess that up. Dear oh dear. Guntage, what are you doing? Blue flag. Red flag. Red flag. Firing event, guntage. 6. We're beating them, boys. Unit is inspired by their firing. Remove 1 point of shock from all groups that fired. Well, they haven't got any shock, so no effect. Red flag. And leader 3 is Perno. Well, I think he's going to pick up one of the blue flags and take off 3 points of shock. So they're down to 1. And he'll also get them to move. 2 dice, 6. Bit of flank protection. Oh, and Tiffin. Right, so the Russians will go first. They've got 3. I've wasted them, and the French have 1. Well, I think for the Russians, we're cantering with the Cossacks around here. 2 dice, plus 6, so it's 14. Cossacks can smell blood. And for the French here, I mean, they're in a right pickle because Cointreau's down. Crikey, what do we do here? Not quite sure what I can do. Perhaps I can wheel them. I'll have to wheel them to take on the Jaegers. 1 dice, there you go, 6. Well, obviously not going to go 6, they're just going to go like that. Get Cointreau out of the way. I don't think they can do anything else. Right, first card up is leader 2, which is Boris Butich with the Jaeger line. He'll just take a point of shock off. Red flag. Perno. Well now, here he is. He will get them to fire at the Cossacks, and if he can get some shock on them, they will be nullified. So it's 3 plus his 2. It's close range. 5 dice, hitting on 4s. Ooh, not brilliant. 2 hits. Right, here, they're in the open. 1 shock. Well, that's enough at the moment. Red flag. Blue flag. Blue flag. Random firing event. Perno. 9. Charge them to hell. Inspired by their volley and convinced the enemy is done for, the firers surge forward 2 dice 6 inches. Oh, God. That could be a disaster for the Voltigeurs. They go 8. Which actually puts them there. Lucky. But I'll tell you what, they are going to shot practice. So they're right up close, but they can't charge because they've got shock. They're going to give them some more shock. That's 3 dice only. Hitting on 4, 5, 6. Cocky. Oh dear, 1 hit. In the open. 1 shock. So they're on 2. Well, could have been better. Now they're unloaded. So Perno and his Voltigeurs being very brave here. Well, looks like it's sharp practice-tastic. The Jaegers will have a go with that as well. And Beetoff will fire with these into the flank there. Not in the flank because they've pivoted, but it's 6 dice. Hitting on 4s. That's 4 hits. They're in the open. I'm on 6 shock already. So that's another 3 shock. And that's bad news for the French line because there's only 8 of them. With 9 shock, they'll go back 1. It's a bad things happen, obliged to withdraw. 5. That's -1. The French are on 7. Russians are on 9 still. Well, there we go. French leader 1. Cointreau needs to get up. So we need a 5 or 6. Ooh, there we go. He's up. But he is injured. Can't do anything else at the moment. Leader 2. Thomas Lecoquelet. Right, here's old Thomas. What do we do? I guess he could just take off a point of shock. Yeah, that's all he'll do. Not overly useful. Red leader 1 to be a cock. Right, he's going to try and get this lot under control. They're not doing anything now. The Russians may be in trouble on their left. So they might as well move forward a bit. These three's up. Oh dear, he hasn't got it. So they're just ignoring him and presenting and firing at the moment. So they can't do anything else. I still think he can take a point of shock off, which he'll do. Bugger off. He will take a point of shock off. In fact, he'll take 2. So the Cossacks are ready to go again. Look out, the Voltigeurs. Red flag. Leader 4, Guntich. Right, so it's a reload fire. And it's 6 dice there. Hitting on 4s. That's 3 hits. Now, I think it's 2 on them, 1 on probably them. These guys are in the open. 1 kill, 1 shock. They're back up to 9 again. Is the kill on Cointreau? No. So Voltigeur line goes. And these guys are going to be in hard cover. 1 shock. So they go back 2. They go back 1. And it's 2 withdrawals. 1 of 3. No effect. Lucky. I should have probably used that card with old Guntich, but there we are. Red flag. And Tiffin. Well, the only one to move now is Beat Off. So here he is. They'll move 1 dice 6 over here. 2. Just about enough. And they'll fire at the Voltigeurs. 6 dice hitting on 4s. That is just 3 hits. Soft cover. So that's 1 shock. Up to 2. End of turn. First card up is Leader 4, which is Guntich. And they will simply reload and fire at the line here. I mean, it's all getting very desperate for the French. They're just stuck there. They're stupefied. He's gone down. He's wounded. And they are massively shocked. So it's not good. The French can't break this cycle at the moment. So it's 6 dice hitting on 4s. Disastrous shooting, though, from the Jaegers. They only get 1. They're in the open. Another point of shock. Oh dear. So they go back another inch. And I could probably just about get there. And it's another bad thing's happened. 6. -1. French are on 6. However, any more and they're going to go through this group and cause a lot of trouble. Probably been a bit lenient with the French there. Red flag. Red flag. Ooh, leader 5. Well, I'm afraid the Cossacks are in. They can gallop because they were cantering last time. They're into the Voltigeurs and this could be nasty. And just to be sure, Bugger Off will pick up 2 flags. And of course, unfortunately, the Voltigeurs are also unloaded. Need to work out some dice. Right, so I've done the calculations. We're looking for 5s and 6s. Roll them all together. Good for the French. Oh, blimey, look at that. And coming back is just 1 6. Right. Well, so the French are wiped out. They're gone. It's 1 kill and 1 shock on the Cossacks. So is the kill on the leader? No. So I'll take a kill. Take a shock. The French have a group wiped out. 4. That's -2. Takes them to 4. Level 2 leader killed. 1. That's -1. And they're on 3. Now, finally, do the Cossacks plunder? 6, they do not. So they're okay. So they can do some other stuff now, as long as they take that shock off. Well done, the Cossacks. Well done, Bugger Off. But for the French, I think that's a bit of a disaster. They're getting surrounded, and the noose is tightening. Perno, he's gone. Red flag. Blue flag. The French will lose a few next time. Red flag. Ooh. Well, I guess that is going to be Cossacks. 12. Well, what a terrible wind. A mighty gust clears any lingering pool of smoke from the table. There we go. Blue flag. And Tiffin. Ooh dear, that's not good for the French. Russians will go first.
I guess for them, really, it's this group of Jaegers is the only group that can really do anything. They'll fire straight at that line again. 6 dice hitting on 4s. That's another 3 hits. They're in the open. The French are just stupefied at the moment. Another 2 shock. Bad news. Right, they're up to 12. Excess 4. They'll go back. They've got to go back here now. Cointreau will go with them. But the bad thing is, there's 7 of them with 12, so that's 5 extra shock on these because they've just gone through them. The French are rattled, to say the least. Well, the French can have a go. This lot, I guess they can fire at the Jaegers here. Why not? 6 dice, it's actually first fire, hitting at the Jaegers. So they're hitting on 3s. That's 4 hits. Damage, soft cover is just 2 shock. And they can reload. End of turn. Blue flag. French have only got 2 left. Red flag. Leader 2. Thomas Lecoquelet. Well, he'll pick the flag up. Status 2. He will take a point. He'll get them to fire. Get at the Jaegers. Add his dice for 2. So it's going to be 8 dice. Hitting on 4s, they'll fire and reload. Okay, 5. Light cover. 1 kill, 2 shock. Cointreau. Well, he's level 2 now, so I think he's going to abandon this lot. Get over here. Just about to, isn't it? And he's going to get this lot to come around here and pivot back on 1 dice, which they can do nicely, and they can face the Cossack threat. Red flag. Leader 2, Boris Butich, he'll just take a point of shock off. Cossacks, so I think Bugger Off can also continue moving after they've done their melee here. They've not plundered. They're still cantering. They can go 2 dice plus 6, so that's 12. And that takes them out of arc of those muskets. Leader 3, beat off. Right, here he is. They're going to scuttle this way. 2 dice. In fact, beat off will pick up 1 flag, so he's level 3. So first of all, they're going to move. They go 5, which isn't enough. Wasted his flag. And Tiffin, right, Russian, go. Butich's gang is back in action. They will reload and fire, hitting with 3 dice only. Hitting on 4s, 1 hit. In the open. What's a kill? Is that on Lecoquelet? No. End of turn. Red leader 1, Ivan Tabiakok. Got to get him under control. Right, these 3s are up. Yes, 6, that'll do. So you can now actually do something with them. And what he's going to do is get these 3 to advance forward 1 dice 6. They go 6. Still out of range. Takes them up to that fence line. And they are actually just in close range now. Ooh, Clement Cointreau. Well, there he is. What's he going to do? It's difficult. I guess he's going to move up here for 1 and tell that not to fire. 5 dice. Hitting on 4s. Good hit. Light cover. 3 shock. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 7 shot with 5. They go back 2. They don't. They go back 4. So I'm going to stick them over there. Bad things happen. 4, -1 for the Russians. They're on 8. And the French will reload. Desperate rearguard action from the French here. Can they pull it off? Red flag. Leader 2. That is Thomas Le Coquelet. He'll take a point of shock off. Leader 2 for the Russians is Boris Butich. I guess he'll take a point of shock off. Red flag. Red flag. Right, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. These guys are now going to walk, and I want to get them around here. Walk and turn. 10. Fantastic. Cossacks are eyeing up the gap in that hedge. Look at the shocked French there with the backs to them. They're loving it. Blue flag. Red flag. Leader 4, Guntich. Well, he will pick up a red flag and take off 2 points of shock, I think. Can't do much else. That's bugger off. He's been. And Tiffin. End of turn. Red flag. Red flag. Red leader 1. He'll pick those two up. Our status 3 because he's wounded. Ivan Tabiakok. He will get his gang to present and fire. They're just in close range. That front group of French there. I'll only allow half of the right-hand group here to fire because of that building. So it's 14 dice hitting on 3s because they're presented. That's going to be 4 on the front group in the open, which is 1 kill and 1 shock. And 4 on this group. They'll get light cover, so that is 1 shock only. And the Russian line will be unloaded. Red leader 3, Beatoff, Igor. Right, again, he'll scuttle over here with 1 dice. 3, just about enough. They will fire. 6 dice. Hitting with 4s. That ain't particularly good, just the 2 hits. In the open though, that's 2 shock. So they're up to 3. And they'll reload. Oh, leader 4, Butich. Well, he'll just take a point of shock off. Leader 2, he can't do anything, old matey. And that is Butich. The other one was Guntich. Anyway, Butich can't do anything at the moment. Oh, he can take a point of shock off. Red flag. 5 is bugger off. Right, is this the coup de grace? They can canter in, and I'm not going to allow them all to go through that gap. That's unfair. So they will have to jump over this. So first of all, it's 2 dice 6 plus 6. Do they make it? Oh, crikey, I don't know whether they do. 10. They do, just. Bugger off will also pick up a red flag, so he's status 3. Right, so they will pull up if they get a 6. I've got a black dice for bugger off. Oh, bugger off doesn't make it. Look at that. Everybody else does, but bugger off does not jump over the hedge. Right, so this lot, heavily shocked, attacked in the rear. Bugger off is stranded at the fence there, but the rest of them are in. Well, it's no great surprise that the French hardly get any dice there. I've been very generous with giving them 1 dice, and the Cossacks get a lot. They get a kill, though, do the French, so well done them. Right, so what have we got there? 1 kill on the Cossacks plus 1 shock. Okay. And 5 kill and 2 shock on the French. Needless to say, they're routed. So it's 2 dice 6 plus 6. Crikey, where they're going to go. So that's 7, 13. I think wow. Yeah, they can't run towards the Russians. They'll just have to zoom over there. Headlong route into the fields over there. Bad things happen. 6. Oof. That's -2. French are on 1. Do they plunder? No, because they haven't got a leader with them actually. Yeah, so they're busy looting what's left of that group there. Red flag. Cointreau. Your time's nearly up, mate. Force morale of 1. Crikey. What do we do? I don't know whether you can about turn. I think you might be able to. About face. Single group. Got 2 command initiatives. Come to about turn. And then we'll fire at the Cossacks. Not quite sure whether you can do that. Anyway, it's 4 dice. Close range, hitting on 4s. 3 hits. In the open, 1 kill, 1 shock. No leader with them. Matey's gone. And Tiffin. End of turn. Right, Cointreau. I have actually made a bit of a faux pas here because it's a campaign. It's not a fight to the death. Perhaps the French should have buggered out a lot quicker. So Cointreau is going to tell both groups to move as quick as they can. 3 dice 6 on the road, and they're going to extract. They go 14. They're off the table. And his gang need to get a move on as well. Here's a good roll. What's that? Also 14. Not bad. It's not off the table yet. Red leader 4 is Guntich. Well, he's still taking shock off. 5 is Cossack leader, but he'll move around there and take a point of shock off. Can't do anything else, trying to get them to stop plundering in a moment. Blue flag. Red leader 1. Ivan to be a cock will get them to reload, get them under control. Needs 3s up. Yes, they're under control. And now he'll advance with this group. 3 dice 6. They go 12. Chasing after the French. French leader 2, Thomas Le Coquelet will take a shock off. And Tiffin, right, that is end of turn. I think I should have probably moved them actually on that flag. Ooh, 12, that's a good move. So they're going to bang straight past the marauding Cossacks. Got to try and get off the table. There's the French running away. Liebstadt has fallen. Leader 2, Thomas Le Coquelet. That's a point of shock off for the French. Red leader 2, Butich. He can't do anything really. They're too far away. Blue flag. Cointreau. 3 dice 6. And yes, they're off the table. He saved some of the line. Igor Beethoff. Well, I guess they've got to go chasing after the other French. They go 9. They will fire. Hitting on 4s. 1 hit only. In the no, it's light cover. Oh, no effect. And they're unloaded. Ooh, Tiffin. There we go. Group will move for the French. 2 dice. You go 8. And I'm going to call it there. So the last French troops slip away in the snows. The Cossacks are busy plundering. The Jaegers are looking in the snow, looking through the blizzard to see what they can see. The Russian line have cleared the village, but they're in a bit of a mess. Not quite sure what's going on. Lack of command there. And the Jaegers over here still fanning about. They put up a good fight to the French, but ultimately that was the end of them. And they did suffer heavily for that, and that may come back and bite them in the next scenario.
Yes, indeed. The French casualties were quite high. Pernod killed, Cointreau wounded, 10 Voltigeurs and 8 Voltigeur line also killed. However, as per my campaign recovery of casualties, 9 of those Voltigeurs can return, half the number. The Russians had to be a cock wounded, 4 line, 1 Jaeger and 3 Cossacks killed, so quite light casualties. And due to the difference in force morale at the end of the game, where the Russians had 8 and the French 1, all of those casualties will return for the Russian force. So the French have been bounced from Liebstadt and the Russians are on the rampage, Bernadotte will muster his troops and go and confront the Russians just north of Mohrungen. Meanwhile, a flanking move by a Russian raiding force will try and grab some goodies from Mohrungen itself in the rear area, where the remnants of the French force from this scenario will be attempting to fight them off. I hope you can join me next time for Grab the Treasure. Thanks for watching.